Okay, so we're gonna look at the prone position now. And keep in mind that a prone position is not optimal for many people, especially if they're elderly. So you'll want to consider optional positioning. So if you're going to do a hot pack or something to the back, instead of putting that person in prone, you could put them in a sideline position, but more of a 3/4 prone position where the long pillow is in the front of them. Or you may want to consider having them sit in a chair and lean forward. And Dr. Lynham, if you haven't already been into her room, is going to show you how to position somebody in sitting so that they're comfortable and you can reach their low back area. Okay, so in this position, one of the first things you notice is the head. And I venture to say that Scott can't breathe because his nose is scrunched into the bed, because he's got some issues in his cervical spine that don't really allow him to be in a rotated position, cervical position, for very long. So the first thing I'm going to do, well, the other area is the lumbar spine, and you can see that you get quite a bit of extension in this position, especially if you have tight hip flexors, because this puts you into hip extension and will increase the pull of the iliopsoas on the front part of the ilium and on the lumbar spine if those muscles are short. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a pillow underneath his belly. Okay, so I'm going to have you come up on your hands and knees, Scott. And I'm going to put this right there and go ahead and come on down. Okay. How does that feel on your low back and your hips?
That's good.
Feel okay? Okay. So I'm going to deal with his head next. He can't be in this position, though some of your patients may be able to be in a position like this. You wouldn't necessarily want to put a really thick pillow underneath their head when they're rotated to one side. But what I'm going to do is fix up a support for Scott's head so that he can be in a more neutral position and he can breathe. So I'm rolling these hand towels up to create a place for his forehead to rest. So can you lift your head up? Part of it is my bed. If you were on a firmer surface, your eyes? How's that? Is that any better at all? It's worse. Can you position it so that it's on your forehead and your nose clears the bed?
Okay.
Yeah, this is not an optimal position for Scott. The other issue are his shoulders are really forward in this position, and I may want to take a thin pillow and put underneath. I'll show you on the other side. can't breathe, can you?
Yeah, I'm on my side.
Okay, so he's turned to the side a little bit, but the roll on his forehead allowed him to have a little more space for his nose, so he says he can breathe. He's still moving, his color looks good. So I think we're in pretty good shape there. Now the next thing you want to consider, Scott automatically moved down to where his feet are hanging off the edge of the bed. Let me make sure you can see that. Because somebody whose anterior ankle areas are tight have a really hard time laying down with their feet like this. Okay, so he automatically moved down, and that's one way to handle that problem. The other way to do that is simply to put a pillow underneath. Okay. Again, this isn't an ideal position for Scott, and I'm going to have him get out of this position before he suffocates. Okay, thank you.